In southeast Missouri, economic history, environmental health, and local communities are all deeply entwined with the region's mining industry. For decades, lead mining has had a significant impact on the natural and economic systems of the region, especially in an important waterway called the Big River. To understand what's happening today, we need to jump back to the early 1700s, before Missouri was even a state. Around that time, Native Americans introduced French settlers moving to southeast Missouri to rich deposits of lead in the region. Seeing the immense economic potential, they quickly set up mines to extract it. This also marked the first widespread use of slavery in Missouri. In the early 1720s, Philippe Francois Renaud brought hundreds of enslaved peoples and paid miners up the Mississippi River to work the mines. This laid the groundwork for what would become an enormous mining enterprise. Operations continued to become more industrial and pervasive from that point on. By the 1970s, this region, now called the Old Lead Belt, had produced more than 8 million tons of lead, cementing Missouri as a leading producer of lead in the U.S. and one of the biggest in the world. All of this mining generated intense economic growth. Mining companies grew to employ thousands of people and built many of the first hospitals, grocery stores, and recreational centers. But as mining declined in recent decades, so did the economic boom it carried, leaving several health, environmental, and economic problems in its wake. Mining activity created severe contamination called chat or tailings. These sand-like piles contain lead and other heavy metals, all of which are toxic to humans and animals. Throughout mining's most lucrative period, it created nearly 250 million tons of these tailings. Over the years, wind and rain have eroded these piles, adding lead waste to the river's sediment, where it's carried farther and farther downstream. Lead waste has harmed local fish, mussels, crawfish, and birds that feed nearby. And as tailings and lead dust have found their way into yards and homes, local residents have also experienced lead poisoning. Right now, some fish caught in the Big River aren't safe to eat because of lead concentrations. As a result, some may choose to fish in other further riverways or not fish at all. This makes it difficult for those that do choose to continue to use what they catch. Canoe rentals on the Big River are far fewer than other nearby rivers, as contaminated waters are less appealing for floaters. Rehabilitating the Big River has the potential to expand existing industries, encourage new recreational opportunities, and create jobs. A Better Big River cleanup and restoration effort is currently underway to do just that. Public agencies and local organizations have begun to stabilize eroding riverbanks, remove contamination from sediment and floodplains, and clean up residential yards. But there's still much left to do. Rehabilitation offers a great number of economic benefits. The work required would employ construction workers and contractors. Remediated lawns and cleaner surrounding property could mean higher property values for residents. Safer waters and restored riverbanks could also help small businesses that benefit from tourism and recreation, like tackle shops, restaurants, hotels, and canoe rentals. If you own residential properties or properties within the Big River floodplain, you can help in a big way. Lead-contaminated soil in yards needs to be identified and cleaned up, and eroding riverbanks need to be restored. The EPA offers free soil lead testing and cleanup. EPA can be contacted at 1-800-223-0425 to begin the soil testing and cleanup process today. Working toward a better Big River, the cleanup and restoration effort, the cure for the Big River.